Right now we're going to talk some baseball as we welcome in Mike Miles from Cumberland County College. Recently helped the Dukes win their first World Series championship ever, and he also got drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. How about yourself?
I'd say so, man. The last couple of weeks you've had a pretty good baseball life.
Yeah, definitely can't complain. I'll tell you that.
So what's this whole ride been like with Cumberland County College? Obviously, they're one of the best junior colleges in the country, have been for a couple of years. Haven't ever been able to win that World Series, got close a couple of times. Take us through this season a little bit. And at the start of the season, you probably felt like you had the kind of team that could win it all.
Oh, yeah, 100%. From the first day around all the guys, you could tell there was kind of just the chemistry that was just there. Like, before everyone even really knew each other, everyone was meshing well. And then everything started in the weight room, which is honestly where most championships begin. It starts with the hard work off the field and in the classroom, honestly, because if you're not doing well in the classroom, you can't be out there on the field. So as long as everyone was doing their part on and off the field, the chemistry began to grow. We all began to realize that we could do something special this year. And honestly, everyone wanted to bring that trophy home and bring it to Coach Gorman because he's been close so many times with so many great teams. And our motto going into the World Series basically was, why not us?
Now, did you take me back to your high school career at Prep? Were you a part of any of those championship teams?
I was part of 2 South Jersey championship teams and 2 losses in the state championship. So I still had a bitter feeling from my high school days. And in the World Series, I was determined to not let that happen again.
Now, coming out of high school, what were some of your options for college, and what made you choose Cumberland?
Well, actually, out of high school, I had it was only a few Division II offers and a few Division I, but I actually decided to go the Division II route and transfer back home to Cumberland this past season, actually.
And what has that experience been like for you? I know I did a recent cover story for Glory Days magazine on junior college baseball and how it's a great option for a lot of kids, and a lot of high school players don't really think of that right away as an option. You're starting to see that a little bit more and more. But when you think about it, you know, my biggest thing is if you're a good player and you want to improve your sort of recruiting stock, why not go to a junior college where you're going to get a lot of playing time rather than go to a 4-year school and sit the bench for 2 years?
Exactly, yes. Returning back home and going to Cumberland was probably one of the best decisions in my life. And I have to attest that to the great coaching staff there. Honestly, Coach Gorman's probably one of the best coaches I've ever played for. And at Juco, you learn to play hardball. It's not easy. But if you can play Juco baseball, you can play anywhere in the nation. And I think that's an honest fact.
What's the competition like for some of these high school players out there listening this morning who might think JUCO is sort of a default choice rather than going to a 4-year school, but some of these kids don't understand how much talent there is at the JUCO level?
Yeah, ours, especially our region, Region 19, their talent is ridiculous. Every day you're going out there competing with guys who have the opportunity to play professional and Division I, Division II baseball. If you're worried about the competition level, then all I got to say is go out there and go see a game, and you'll probably see some of the best players you've ever seen on a baseball field.
We're talking with Mike Miles from Cumberland County College, also a graduate of St. Augustine Prep. And, Mike, take us through your season a little bit. Hard to put up better stats than you did. You were 12-0, 93 innings, 114 strikeouts, only 23 runs allowed. 1.84 ERA. How did you become this kind of pitcher that you are now as opposed to maybe a couple years ago in high school?
Well, my big focus this year was conditioning. I knew going into the year that I had a chance to throw a lot of innings. And so all summer before the fall started was heavy lifting. And then once the fall started, it was conditioning. And Coach Gorman and Coach Josh O'Neill, our pitching coach, really put in a lot of work with me in the fall on staying consistent and really staying through the strike zone. If you can throw 2 pitches for a strike in any count, you're going to be successful. And that was really what they preached to me. You got to be able to throw 2 pitches whenever you want, wherever you want, at all times. And if you have a third pitch, then that's great because then you can throw it, keep it off balance to the batters. But I really put my mindset right this year to try and get in the weight room, improve everything because I knew this was going to be a big year for me, and I knew the team really could do something special, and I wanted to be a part of it.
That's a great point, Mike. A lot of high school players, a lot of high school pitchers are like, oh, I throw a fastball, curve, slider, change. Well, yeah, you throw 4 pitches, but only one of them's good. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
to master that one secondary pitch, how important is that to whether it be a changeup or a slider or whatever it's going to be, make sure you can throw that as well as your fastball.
Yeah, because everyone can hit fastballs at any level, no matter how hard you throw it. If you leave a fastball over the middle, you can throw 85 and you can throw 95. Players can hit fastballs, so you got to be able to keep people off balance, and that's where being able to throw another pitch for a strike whenever you want comes in handy.
How much did you learn about pitching, Mike, as you were going through this season? You know, you're facing a lot of good teams throughout the season, and it's a grind. It's only a couple of months, and you're throwing nearly 100 innings, so you kind of learn a lot about yourself as you're navigating through these innings and starts.
Yeah, definitely. This year I learned a lot more about pitching than I had before. Like I said, before I was able to get away with throwing fastballs whenever I wanted, but early on in the year, I'll be honest with you, I was getting hurt with the home run ball a lot. Through my first 5 starts, I believe I'd given up 5 home runs. And I realized, okay, I can't just screw a fastball down the middle to get ahead of these guys. Everyone here is legit. Like, it was kind of a shock to me at first as well. So after that, through the rest of the year, I was determined to make sure I kept my fastball down and located better. And I believe I did that well after the first 5 or 6 games, giving up 5 home runs. I only gave up 1 more the rest of the year to finish the season with giving up 6, which still isn't the greatest stat, but I was able to adapt and adjust because I realized these guys can hit fastballs. Anyone can hit fastballs.
Did anybody bat flip you?
I don't know if anyone bat flipped me, but I did give up a home run to someone I'm actually friends with back home, so we'll always have bragging rights over that.
How do you refocus? That's the toughest thing as a pitcher when you throw a pitch and a guy hits it 400 feet and you're like, oh boy, I'm really not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah, after that, you really just got to buckle down and be like, all right, it's got to have a short memory as a pitcher. You can't dwell on things because baseball is a sport of failure. I mean, heck, if you're a hitter that goes 3 for 10 in your career, on average, you're a Hall of Famer. So as a pitcher, you got to realize that too. Like, you got to score runs to win. And I knew that I had a great team behind me that was going to put up runs for me every time I went out there. So if I gave up 1 or 2 runs, I still felt really confident, and I just wanted to keep our team in the game because I knew they'd put up runs to win.
That's a great point, Mike. I mean, what a luxury to have as a pitcher to have that offense behind you. I mean, these guys were averaging, 8, 9 runs a game, hitting about 350 as a team, and as a pitcher, just keep the car on the road at that point.
Yeah, they definitely made my job a lot easier.
Take me through the World Series, Mike. I mean, you guys actually made it as an at-large bid. I don't think a lot of people realize that you lost in the region championships, but were good enough throughout the regular season to earn that at-large bid, and that's not an easy thing to get in there as an at-large and to win it all. What was that ride like? You go down to Tennessee with all those guys, and must have been a really fun time just competing at the highest level of junior college and trying to win that national championship.
Yes, after the regions, the team kind of had a meeting without the coaches, actually, and we all came to a realization, like, hey, like, this just happened. Like, we just got beat on our home field, and it was embarrassing. So we were determined that if we got that at-large bid, we were not going to lose a game. We were going to work harder than we ever had before, and focus was not going to be lost. Like I said earlier, our motto was "Why not us?" We were going to prove that week in the regions was just a fluke. That wasn't how Cumberland baseball is played. That isn't how hard-nosed baseball is played, which is what we preach. So we were going to go down there and really show everyone that, hey, we got that at-large bid for a reason. We were number 1 in the nation for 6 straight weeks for a reason because we were the best team down there.
Now, you toe the rubber there to start that game, and the weight of, if we can win this game, it's the first time in our college's history to win a national championship. What's going through your mind there before the first pitch? And everything swirling around your head. Man, I got to be on my game today. I got to be my best, and a lot of pressure there in a situation like that. And the good players rise to that occasion. So how did you kind of channel all that energy?
Well, I knew that we were facing against a phenomenal another local team at varsity GC, so I knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. I pitched against them earlier in the year, and it was an absolute dogfight until the end. But I knew our offense was hot, so I knew if I kept us in the game throughout the whole entire time that we were going to keep putting up runs. Especially we came out in the first inning and put up a 6 spot. That made life so much easier for me going out there on the mound. Kind of took all the weight off me to where I can just go out there and have fun and play baseball, which is how it's supposed to be. So the fact that our offense was able to put up a 6 spot in the first inning just really kind of just lifted the weight off my shoulders. Like, all right, I know these guys got my back. It's time for me to go out there and get theirs.
And you went the distance. I mean, that must have been such a great thrill when that final out is finally made and you guys are national champs. And what was that feeling like? You always dream about a dog pile. And like you said, you had lost 2 state championship games in high school. So it must have been a great feeling to earn that victory and now, figure out what your ring size is.
It was absolutely surreal. I mean, I'm always going to remember that last out. Nick Milhan running across, catching that fly ball, and I immediately just saw him jump up in the air with it. I look at home plate, I see Brian Galante rushing towards me, and at that moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to be at the bottom of a dog pile, about 30 guys.
And to top it off, this week you get drafted by the major leagues. What was that like? I mean, obviously that's a dream of every kid that picks up a T-ball bat.
Oh, yes, sir. It's an absolute dream come true, and it's also very humbling. It's been my dream ever since I was a little kid to play professional baseball, and to now be chosen to have the opportunity to do so it's a dream come true. I don't really think it's still even set in yet. It's happened. I don't even know. Just seeing all my friends and family around home and talking about it with all them, it's an awesome experience.
I guess now you have a big decision to make, whether to turn pro or try to keep going with your college career. And good luck with that decision. I know it's not an easy one for you, but we'll be rooting for you whatever path you choose. And we appreciate you taking a few minutes, man. And congratulations on a great spring.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for having me.
You got it. Thanks, Mike.
All right, have a good one.
That was Mike Miles, former Hermit from St. Augustine Prep, also helped lead Cumberland County College to their first national championship in school history.